This is a new one for us. We're talking about Kingsley Coman. So this is coming today, but I don't know how reliable this guy is. Many Arsenal fans saying he's not that reliable, but Arsenal given the green light to sign Bayern, so he's particularly keen on the Gunners transfer. So Arsenal keen on signing Bayern Munich winner Kingsley Coman on a loan deal. According to reports, Coman 28 has had a fair share of injury problems over the years, but he's a fantastic player on his day and will certainly improve the Arsenal attack if he signs. Where are we? He'll bring a wealth of experience, dressing room, having won ridiculously 12 league titles in 13 years and as a senior player. The 1 year he failed was when we blame Harry Kane for that. That's quite funny. The Frenchman scored an impressive 63 goals and provided 66 assists in 294 appearances for Bayern, having previously played for Juventus and PSG. It was definitely not Arsenal's defence to let him down in the Champions League and his Premier League last season as they finished second in their ladder and reached the quarter-final, losing out to Coman's Bayern. In the decisive second leg, Arteta lacked the final third. We know that. Perhaps Coman could global reports Arsenal could sign him on a season-long loan this summer. According to Football Insider, Bayern has given the green light for a transfer. They're going to put in a shock move for Coman. This guy saying, this journalist, Pete O'Rourke, reckons that the Bavarians will allow him to leave this summer, but would allow an option or obligation to buy after a loan deal. Also boosted by the fact that Coman is keen on making the move, apparently, though he wants assurances of playing time at the Emirates. Saka is impossible to dislodge on the right, but the left wing is there for the taking. Is it? I think Trossard can play there. So Martinelli's there. I think we need a right winger to give Saka competition. But anyway, there is unfortunately for the Gunners, there's interest from some European elite clubs, and they will face heavy competition to land Coman this summer. Court Offside have also claimed that Arsenal was keen and interested in Coman on a loan, and again, the French international was keen on the move. The report does not mention the fee that Bayern will want an obligation, stating that they were seeking between 30 to 40 million. Rival clubs also mentioned with his former employee PSG keen as well, La Liga giants F Barcelona. Coman would prefer a move to either the Premier League back to Paris and is keen to move into Arsenal apparently. Barca, however, former manager Hansi Flick, of course, coached him to glory. The reports adds that Arsenal manager is monitoring several wide players and he's eager to strengthen his squad to go head-to-head with Man City. Coman is a great option for Londoners, but they might need to sort one or two departures to make it happen. Nelson is a strong candidate, and also Eddie Nketiah is leaving as well, as we know. So, Kingsley Coman, guys, get your thoughts about this player down below. My initial thoughts on this is, firstly, as a player, his ability as a player, I think I always think he's been such a quality winner over the years. I think he's a quality player on his day. And I'll say on his day because I know one of the big factors we're going to talk about is the injuries, but I want to put that for a side at the moment. As a player, Kingsley Coman, I think, is quality. Yeah, and you just see this guy is a serial winner. This guy has won everywhere he's been at. This guy has won every single season, apart from last season, when obviously Bayern signed Harry Kane and they lost and they won nothing last season. That is the only season he's ever not won a trophy. Every single season, obviously he's been at Bayern Munich, PSG, Juventus, but every single season the guy's won something, and he's been a big part of that. He's played in World Cups. Obviously he's won the World Cup as well. At the end of the day, this guy's a serial winner. This guy has the big experience. And I would take him as a backup. And we're talking about a loan deal here as well, guys, right? Just a straight out loan deal, right? Yeah, I know there's an option if we wanted to, with an obligation to buy, right? But for a season-long loan, to come in and give something different, give that competition, because I think this guy is going to give Saka a run for his money. I really do. I get he's 28 now, but at the same time, we're looking at Sane, who's the same age as him. They're both 28. So I know that he's getting older. The age... he's getting older and this, right? But I think this guy coming in, I think he can play both wings as well. He can play right hand side and left hand side. I think this wouldn't be a bad sign, and I think this is a very good option to go with. The guy, I've seen this guy enough in terms of I think he'll do it in the Premier League. He's done it everywhere else he's been. He's been Liga and Bundesliga, Serie A as well. He's done it on the big stage in the World Cups. He's done it. He's been there and done it everywhere pretty much. He's done it in the Champions League. Like, the guy's won major trophies. The guy's got that experience. But I guess the only thing with it still, I think everything else is fine. A loan deal I think is decent as well. We're talking about not spending big this summer. Well, get this guy on loan then for a season. It's not going to hurt anyone, is it? If the loan don't work out, we send him back to Bayern Munich. I know there's an option of obligation to buy, but I don't mind that it's a loan deal as well. But I guess the only issue, guys, is the injury record. That's the thing that let this guy down the most. Is his injury concern? Is his injury very injury prone? I'm actually going to get his injury record up right now. In fact, I'm going to go to transfer market, guys. Right, I'm going to look at his injury record because we know what it's like at Arsenal, right? And we know what it's like when we have players in Arsenal. We know how many sort of injury prone players we have, but he suffered from quite a few injuries, right? So last season, he missed quite a few games last season, right? He had an abductor injury. He missed. He was out for 48 days last season. He had muscular problems. He had a knee ligament tear. He was out for 50 days. He had a torn muscle fiber. He had again muscular problems. That was all last season, right? He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had 5 different types of injuries last season. Yeah. What else we got? Torn muscle fiber 2022. He had a knock in 2022. 2022, he missed 8 games in total. 2021, he missed again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He had 8 different types of injuries in 2021. He had again 2020. He had 1, 2, 3. It seems like every single season the guy picks up many different types of injuries, guys. And obviously we know what it's like at Arsenal. We've seen it with Partey, we've seen it with Tomiyasu, we've seen it with Jesus. I think I'm probably missing some more, but we have players at Arsenal who are just so injury prone. And is it really that we need another one like this? But at the same time, I look at it thinking, listen, it's a loan deal. It's not like we're splashing 30 mil on the guy, which is we might if you want to do obligation to buy it, then you have to play 30 mil at the end of the season. It's just a straight out loan deal. And we need a winner there. 100% need a winner there. I think I'd take this guy for sure. I think he'll give us that experience, give us something different on the bench as well. I think the player, as I said, wants to move to Arsenal, wants to move to the Premier League. And I'm all for really signing Coman, if I'm being honest. I understand the injury concern. I do get that. I do understand that. But you got to think about this as well. This is giving Saka competition. This is giving us something different. Is Coman going to play week in, week out? No, he's not, if we're being honest with it. I mean, maybe on the left-hand side if Trossard or Martinelli are not performing. But then this is the thing. We need strengthening to give a different type of player for Saka, right? To give Saka competition because we know how many games we have next season, guys. And I expect Arsenal to take every single competition seriously. I expect Arsenal to go everywhere. This should be the standards, people. We should be going in every competition and winning it. We'll be aiming to win it, aiming to compete for everything. Even the Carabao Cup. I want to win the League Cup. We've only won 2 in our history, right? And last time we won a trophy was 4 seasons ago, 5 years ago, whenever it was, 4 years ago, under Arteta when he won us the FA Cup. So ultimately, a trophy is a trophy, and I want to go far in the Carabao Cup. But we can't sit here and say, Saka, let's play you Saka. Yeah, Champions League when we've got more games, when we're in a league table format, and we've got to get out the league to actually qualify for the next round. We're gonna have more Champions League games in midweek, and then you got an important Premier League game on like the weekend. So we're gonna need. You can't just rely on Saka to play week in, week out. It's not gonna happen. So I think Coman coming in, I'll be confident of him. Say if he has to rotate him for a Champions League game, fine. I'll be happy with Coman playing on the right hand side. That's a player that we need. For me, is someone we can sit here and say, you know what? Oh, we got Coman now. If something happens to Saka, touch wood, it doesn't. But if something happens to Saka, or if we need to rotate him, we can sit here and say, you know what, here's Coman. Yeah, and that's the type of player that has done it. He's already been here and done it. You know, a player that you can rely on, I think, as well. I get the injuries is a big concern. That's the only thing with it still. But I think a loan deal for this guy, I'm taking this guy for me. I mean, other winners out there, of course, we did lose out on Pedro Neto to Chelsea, another injury-prone player, you could say as well. But then there's all winners out there. I'm going to talk about the Brighton winner as well. Is it Adringa? Simon Adringa from Brighton. We've been linked with him as well. So I'm going to talk about him very shortly. But obviously, you've got other winners out there like Rafinha. You've got other winners out there. Bakayoko from PSV. I think when he played against us, I watched him the first time. I was like, yeah, this kid looks something good. Of course, when PSV played us last season. So